Have you ever considered indoor gardening? It's currently March the 9th and way too cold to plant outdoors, but I'd like to show you a little bit about gardening indoors today. This is one of the simplest setups that you could do, and it is a half-gallon mason jar. On the top, you'll notice that there's a couple other products. These are from Urban Hydroculture. One is the black disc that inserts in place of the standard lid, and the other is a cover. And what I've done is I've used what's called an Aerogarden basket, and these are ruby red Swiss chard plants that have been dropped into it, and they're growing in nothing more than water and nutrients. For this setup, what you'll need is a little bit of hydroponic nutrient. The white basket that you see here, as well as the sponge insert, comes from a company called Aerogarden. I start these seeds in the sponges in an Aerogarden, and then I move them out into this non-circulating system. The disc that you see is cut out. That's nylon, and this actually fits on top of the jar. Band that comes with the half-gallon jar screws on. The nutrient is applied at a rate of 1 teaspoon per gallon, so a half teaspoon for a half-gallon container for non-circulating hydroponics. The plant already has a root that is coming down from it. This is dinosaur kale. Let's go ahead and insert that into the jar. I've already pre-measured the amount of water, and I have that set 1/3 of the way up the basket. As the plant grows, it'll use the nutrient. I'll top it off every now and then, making sure that I don't fill up the jar completely, because the roots do need to have gas exchange and breathe a little. I have both of these underneath a grow light, but I have set these on a bright windowsill and have done fine with several plants. You'll find that a lot of the leafy greens will grow well with spring lighting coming through a window. As an alternative, you can use Aerogarden products. These are initially a little on the expensive side, but they do tend to last. If you like to garden indoors, they are one of the most all-in-one products that you can get. Just an example of how well they do, this particular Thai pepper plant has been growing for a total of 368 days. Beside it is a tomato plant. There's actually two, and these are micro-dwarf tomato plants. It's the Golden Harvest variety from Aerogarden. This beautiful lettuce is dark Rodin. It is from Gurney Seeds. The light on all three of these units is only 40 watts. The only thing that I need to do is add water to keep the water level where it needs to be, and add plant food about every 14 days. And if you'd like to have a smaller unit, the Aerogarden Sprout is only 10 watts. On the left-hand side is Vivian romaine lettuce, and on the right-hand side is a 15-site seed starter, and that is for me to do succession lettuce plantings, because the way that I'm growing my lettuce right now is I grow it to the point that you see right here, harvest the outer leaves, and leave the inner, smaller, fresh leaves to regrow. And this is second growth that you see now. I've already picked it. I'll do that repeatedly. After a while, the plant becomes a little bit on the bitter side as it gets too old. By having the seed starter set up, I can have lettuce seedlings that are anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks of age that can be moved right into the garden to the right after I clean it, and that will keep me in salads for quite a while. If you're looking for something a little bit larger, the tomato plant that you see on the left-hand side, the cucumber plants on the right-hand side are being grown under 100-watt LED grow lights. They are in self-watering containers. The black container that is on the right-hand side holds 12 gallons of nutrient water, and that flows down through the micro-irrigation tubing to the base of each of these Autopot systems, and there's a valve on the inside that allows water to flow into the base of the pot to a depth of 20 millimeters. The plant will use all of that nutrient, and about 90 minutes after this container down on the bottom, this tray is dry, it will fill back up to the 20 millimeter setting, and that will allow a wet-dry cycle very similar to nature with rainfall and dry periods. Also, it allows the plant to pick up all the nutrient that it needs at a rate that which it needs. You could tell from the perfectly colored leaves, the blossoms, that the system does quite well. In the pots, I have a 50-50 mixture of perlite to coco coir. So when it comes to indoor gardening, there's several different options that are available to you. Aerogardens, as I mentioned, look very nice in an office setting, whereas the Autopot system might be more for home use. It is a little bit larger and may not play well in some corporate office environments. But even at a minimum, the half-gallon Kratky non-circulating hydroponic method might be something that would be a good starting point for a lot of home gardeners.